Piko held his breath, his tiny heart pounding in his chest. The creature was peacefully asleep, its chest rising and falling in a gentle rhythm that matched the rustling of the leaves overhead. Piko stood perfectly still, his little legs frozen in place, wondering if this could really be a lion with such unusual fur, or if it was something else entirely. His curiosity was piqued, but he remained cautious, not wanting to disturb the peaceful slumber of the mysterious creature. But with each passing moment, Piko's curiosity began to outweigh his fear. Step by step, he crept closer to the magnificent creature, his tiny paws making almost no sound on the soft earth. He marveled at the creature's size and beauty, feeling the warmth radiating from its large body. With a mix of excitement and hesitation, Piko reached out his tiny paw and gently poked the creature. To his surprise, the creature didn't move. Gaining a bit more confidence, Piko poked again, a little harder this time. Still, the mysterious white-furred creature continued to sleep peacefully. Feeling quite brave, Piko decided to walk around to get a better view of its face. Carefully maneuvering through the bushes, he positioned himself right in front of the creature. Looking up, he saw its tranquil face, and to his amazement, realized that it was indeed a lion. Unable to contain his excitement, Piko whispered in awe,
"Wow, you're a lion."
At the sound of Piko's voice, the lion slowly opened his eyes without raising his head and fixed his gaze directly on the little meerkat. Scared, Piko jumped back, his heart pounding in his chest. However, to his relief, the lion simply closed his eyes again and remained perfectly still, showing no signs of aggression or threat. Piko stood frozen for a moment, unsure of what to do next. However, his curiosity compelled him to inspect the lion more closely. As he examined the lion, he noticed a large injury on his leg. Piko realized that the lion must have been attacked and was now hiding in the bushes to stay safe. A wave of sadness washed over Piko. He felt sorry for the lion, even though he knew he shouldn't get involved. Without hesitating, he darted out of the bushes and began searching for the special plant his family had taught him about. This plant had healing properties and could strengthen someone, and Piko knew he had to find it to help the lion. Focused solely on the lion, Piko forgot to be cautious about his surroundings and the potential dangers of the forbidden territory. Despite the risks, he successfully found the healing plant. After carefully picking it, he hurried back to the lion and gently placed the plant on its injured leg. After Piko placed the plant on the lion's injured leg, the lion suddenly raised his head as if he had heard something approaching. Piko hadn't realized that, while picking the plant, he had attracted someone's attention. Startled by the lion's sudden movement, Piko quickly hid in the bushes and froze, trying not to make a sound. The lion listened intently, his ears swiveling in all directions. Luckily, Piko was quick and small, allowing it to disappear swiftly into the thick bushes, and the predators soon lost interest in searching for such tiny prey. They eventually left. After a while, when the danger had passed and the predators had left, the lion relaxed and refocused on his injured leg, where Piko had left the healing plant. He sniffed the plant placed on his leg, and then turned his gaze toward Piko with tired, sorrowful eyes. Piko noticed the deep sadness reflected in the lion's eyes, revealing profound pain. His heart ached with sympathy as he realized the immense suffering the lion must be enduring. As Piko continued to watch, deeply troubled, the lion, without saying a word, slowly turned away, lowered his head, and closed his eyes. He looked utterly exhausted, as if every ounce of strength had been drained by the hardships he had faced. Piko thought to himself that the lion seemed incredibly sad and tired, which might explain why it had paid him no attention at all. But no, it didn't make sense to Piko. He was certain that if it had been any other lion, he would already be in danger. But this lion was unlike any he had ever encountered. Perhaps it was the lion's unusual white fur that set him apart, or maybe it was something else entirely. Piko wondered if this lion was somehow different, perhaps even friendly. Then Piko thought that, like himself, the lion might enjoy eating berries. With this idea in mind, he scratched his head thoughtfully, then quietly brushed aside the branches and picked a large, ripe berry from a nearby bush. He walked back to the lion and gently placed the berry next to him. Piko then stepped back a little and sat at a safe distance, hoping that this small gesture might bring some comfort or recognition from the weary lion. However, the lion didn't react. He didn't even open his eyes this time. Saddened by this, Piko decided to do one more thing before leaving. He carefully made his way to a nearby waterhole, taking extra care this time not to attract any attention. At the waterhole, he filled a small leaf with water, then squeezed the healing plant to extract its juice. Balancing the leaf carefully in his tiny paws, he made his way back to the lion. With a solemn expression, Piko gently placed the leaf next to the lion's mouth, allowing the healing juice to trickle down slowly. He hoped this would help the lion heal faster and provide some much-needed relief. Then, with a final, heartfelt gesture, Piko gently touched the lion's nose with his tiny paw to say goodbye. He looked at the majestic creature with a mix of hope and sorrow, wishing that his efforts might bring some comfort to the weary lion. Piko then carefully ran back home. Once there, he chose not to tell anyone about what he had seen or where he had been. That night, as he lay in his burrow, Piko couldn't sleep. His thoughts were consumed by the lion. Was he okay? Why was he so sad? What had happened to him? And why was he alone? These questions filled Piko with a strong urge to return and check on the lion. He couldn't calm down, knowing he would remain uneasy until he found out if the lion was feeling better. He decided to return and check on the lion, anxiously waiting for the first light of dawn. As soon as the sky began to lighten, Piko set off once more toward the place where he had left the lion, each step driven by thoughts of the lion's well-being. He recalled the path to the lion's hiding place among the berry bushes and approached with great caution, hoping that the lion was still there and that his efforts had made a difference. As Piko neared the spot, his heart sank. There was no sign of the lion, only the leaf he had left the day before, still filled with water. "Oh no, where did he go?" Piko murmured to himself, panic rising in his chest. He began sniffing the bushes, trying to pick up the lion's scent. His search was abruptly interrupted when he suddenly bumped into someone. Piko slowly raised his head and was shocked to see the lion standing right in front of him, gazing intently. Piko's heart raced as he realized there was no time to escape. In a moment of fear, he covered his face with his small paws, bracing himself for whatever might come next. He felt the lion's nose brush against him as it sniffed him all over, and he waited with bated breath, expecting the worst.